Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back for another Fate Grand Order video, and today we're going to be talking about the Ordeal Call New Duties Unlocked, which would be coming up today at Maintenance. Because we're going to have Maintenance on the 17th, and that's when I'm releasing this video. I meant to release it earlier, but a bunch of stuff got in the way, mainly because I wasn't super happy with how long the video was. So let's talk about the things inside, shall we? Before we begin, just to give a Smite spoiler warning, if you want to just skip to the banner where there's no chance of there being a spoiler, go ahead. I really don't think that there likely is going to be any spoiler talk, but if you think that there might be, just skip to when I talk about the banner unit that is going to be coming here on the 18th, and that will be good enough. So there you go. I guess 17th, I mean, it's whatever. The first banner unit coming up. And now let's actually get into it. So Ordeal Call New Duties Unlock, like I said, it will be here on August 18th at 1 a.m., which usually means after maintenance. That's what it means, we're going into maintenance. I can say that about 5 more times, and because someone will still ask, so wait, when is it coming up? If we are at day roll, when we go into maintenance and we leave maintenance, this is when it will be up. Easy enough. New Ordeal Call, free quests, and challenge quests, permanents. These will be added, obviously, on the 18th. The new nodes are going to be called Scandinavia and the Caribbean Sea, so those will be added permanently. New extra missions, which are also permanent, will be added that are related to class score and Torlock. The way that you do them is if you raise 155 servants to Final Ascension, you'll get 100 Stardust, and then it climbs 5 until we get to 200. At the 175 mark is when we get a Torch of Nova, and at the 200 mark, it is Torch of Morning Star. Otherwise, you always get 100 Stellar Sand every 5 or so. So it'll be like 4 of them, one of the big ones, 4 of them, another big one. And then for the other one, it's raising servants' bond levels to 6. If you get to 35, you get 100 Sand. If you get 40, you get a Torch of Nova. 45, you get Stellar Sand. And then if you have raised 50 in total, Torch of the Morning Star. Very easy to remember. Limited time campaigns, which I can look down here. There will be a limited time master missions, which will involve challenging the following things. Challenge any high difficulty quest on the Bleached Earth a single time. Complete any free quest on the Bleached Earth 1 time. Complete any 3 times. Complete any 6 times. Complete any 9 times. And then finally, try the Olga Marie Quest 1 once. The quest does not need to be cleared when you do it. The period that this will be available is from the 18th to the 31st, and in terms of being able to claim them, it will be the 18th until the 7th. In terms of the reward you get for completing any of these missions, it's a single St. Quartz, 5 EXP, and 10 Stellar Sand, so you can get a total of 6 St. Quartz. Sick. Sweet. There'll be a ×2 Great and Super Suck chance based off of schedule and based off of class rotation. It's a little bit odd, but obviously I'll explain it. This will last from the 18th to the 25th, to the 25th, to the 25. What the Sometimes my mouth says words and I'm amazed by them. Anyway, the first one is going to be Saber, and this is the one that's a little bit odd because it starts on the 18th, but that's because it would technically start on the 17th when maintenance begins, and it also ends on the 18th because it will only be here until day roll, and then when it's still the 18th, it will be Archer. This is where the time zone thing gets kind of screwy. For some people, it will be like it went from the 18th to the 19th. I can't tell what time zone you're in, so you're going to have to look at that yourself, but this is the way it works for me, so hopefully it follows it. This is also based off of PDT time as well. Anyway, it starts with Saber, and then the next day it is Archer, and then the next day it's going to be Berserker and Alter Ego, and then on the next day it's Assassin, next day Rider, next Caster, next Lancer, and then finally it ends with Saber again. So it'll go from the 18th all the way to the 24th. Simple enough, they all last a single day, and then they get out of there, except for Saber, who I guess technically is not a full day. Which is why this one comes back at the end, so just in case you missed that window of Saber, then you can keep going for it. Part 1 and Part 2 main quest will be 1/4 AP. It will be for Fuyuki to Solomon, that's what is considered Arc 1, and then for Arc 2, it is Anastasia to Nahu Mikalan. This does not include any of the Epic of Remnants. Trom is not considered part of Arc 2, so it is also not included, as is Heinkyo. The same basic things that are always never featured on anything, so easy enough to remember. A special quest that's going to be releasing alongside it. which will be appearing on the bleached earth, so you have to make sure you have cleared Ordeal Call 0 to be able to get it. But it's not going away. It will be here forever, as long as it will always be there waiting for you. In terms of what the quest does, a rift in humanity has appeared on the bleached earth. Head to the site and investigate the cause. It's a multi-party special battle. Unlike usual quests that uses one party to participate, nor Nahu Mikalan's ORT raids, they have multiple new party setups for a single boss. This quest will require the player to set up 10 parties before the quest starts. The main thing that you need to know is that it's an ultra high difficulty quest with a battle consisting of 10 consecutive waves. Set up multiple parties of 3 starting members only. Support servants cannot join the battle. Identical servants and craft essences cannot be reused. You can only use one copy of each servant and craft essence across all parties. Each party battle, only the enemies in their wave. Pay attention to enemy class for each wave when choosing servants for their roster for this all-out battle. As you can see here, they have their own setup here, which is like also kind of funky in a lot of ways, but hey, I guess they're prepared for anything. Waver, Naito, and Hercules just in case. Only 3 of the starting members can be set. Reattempt the battle. You can be able to retry them. This is very silly, but you can retry them from any point starting from the second battle, from the current wave. You can also retry from the first turn of the battle. Choose retry current wave to restart the wave from the first turn. You can also use return to the specific waves to go back to another wave you've already cleared and resume from there. Leave the battle at any time because you can pause it. Pause and make preparations to resume the battle, so you can go and continue the quest at any time and go servant enhancement and then get right back to the battle that you already paused, which sounds crazy to me, but yes, you can do it that way. Once you're ready, return to battle. You can choose any point you had already cleared to resume the battle. You can redo your party setup and return to the battle as you left it. You can also choose an earlier point in the battle that you had already cleared and restart the battle from a wave of your choosing. Tap this battle to resume with the same party. When the restart of the battle, you can tap reuse last setup to restore the party setup you had placed before suspending the battle. And then for a limited time, starting from August 25th until September the 3rd, you'll be able to... The quest is a permanent feature. The quest will also disappear when you clear it, but for a limited time, they're going to let you be able to do it as much times as you want on repeat so that you can try different team setups. No Bond, Mastery XP, Mystic Code XP, Battle Loot, or Quest Rewards will be available for the repeats. I don't know why this isn't just a permanent feature. It's funny to put so much effort into something and then just be like, it's only going to be repeatable for a limited time, but you know, whatever. I should not try and fight FGO on its specific tendencies. It's a good way to kind of lose your mind. And next, we get to the summoning campaigns, which if you skip the... No, actually, that's not true. The skip ahead will be a little bit later. There are going to be 3 banners featuring Muramasa, Domin, and Rasputin. Rasputin is first. He'll be here on the 18th. Then the next day, it's Muramasa. And then for some reason, 2 days later, it's Domin. So get ready for that. I don't think there's anything super special other than they're on it. I will talk about 2 of the units, and I'll save Domin for a later video, just because Domin was the reason why the video kept getting longer than it should, because there's a lot to say about Domin, but it's a little bit easier for me for Rasputin and Muramasa, because I think they're a little bit more straightforward. So we'll talk about those 2, especially since they're releasing pretty close together. I will also say before I get into it, because I'm going to be saying some stuff about Rasputin and Muramasa, I know that they're fan favorites and that there's a lot of people who will be summoning on them because they're fan favorites. I have no problem with that. But the specificness of when I have to talk about these units, you have to remember there might be people who are generally wondering, can I potentially save this for a later day, or are they a must-get right now? And I'm trying to help out those people. I always have to be very cautious, just because FGO is a game in which you can use whatever units you really want, but for some people, they're not looking for an extremely hard time. So I have to try and at least tell the units how good are they in a vacuum. So it does result in me, I feel like, being harsher on units who are a little bit weird, or in the case of, which is what I'm going to be going into with Rasputin. So I'm just putting that barrier shield in front of me. Please be kind. I'm doing my best here, man. It's 1:37 a.m. and this is like the 5th time I've had to re-record this. Anyway, Rasputin. Welcome to all the people who skipped ahead who are afraid of spoilers. Rasputin, he is an alter ego. He has 2 quicks, 2 arts, 1 buster, 5 hits on quick, 4 hits on arts, 4 hits on buster, 5 hits on extra. His active skills are Protection of Faith Unique A+, recovers one ally's HP, removes their debuffs, increases your own attack for 3 turns, and the heal is 2000, the attack up is 30%, and the cooldown is 4. His second skill is the Manyu Malicious Celebration A, charges own NP gauge, 500% chance to deal 2000 damage without killing the self. It's a demerit. Charges the MP gauge of allies with the evil alignment, increases the arts performance of allies with the evil alignment for 3 turns. 30% to the NP, 20% to anyone with the evil alignment, any allies I should say with the evil alignment, and then those same allies will get an additional 20% to arts, evil arts, the most evil of things. Cooldown is 6. Third skill, which is different depending on which version of the game you're currently playing. We don't have this yet. Japan got it in 2024, so that means we're going to be getting it next year. I believe it's in December, if I remember right. December. Okay, so we'll likely get this sometime, maybe November, early December. We'll see. You know, time is always weird with us. Anyway, the Undying Balu, I'll talk about this one first, then I'll go over into the next one. He grants self gut status for 1 time 3 turns. It revives with 1 HP. It's stackable with other guts. Grants self the gut status, which activates a chance to guts when defeated for 3 turns. He revives with 1 HP. Grant self an on guts activated buff for 3 turns. Increase own MP damage by 20% for 5 turns when gut status is activated. 500% chance to draw attention to all enemies to self by 300% for 3 turns. The guts chance is 80% on a cooldown of 7. And then the buff version of this is very similar, but some additional things that were added is grant stealth gut status, which activates a chance to guts when defeated for 3 turns. Revives with 1 HP, but it's stackable with other non-probabilistic guts. Grant self an on guts activated buff for 3 turns. Increases party's NP damage by 20% for 5 turns when gut status is activated. Grant self buff on defense buff for 3 turns. Increases own critical damage by 10% for 5 turns when taking attacks. And then he still has the 500% chance to draw attention to all enemies, and if you're wondering what is the probabilistic guts, it is something like necromancy or recollections from the tobacco smoke, which are guts that will always be on you, but it has a 50% chance to revive you. That's what they mean. Passive skills are Territory Creation B, Executor B, Baptism Sacrament A, Poison Proof Confidential B. Third skill is an anti-caster attack damage aptitude, and his noble phantasm is the Zanganye Angramanyu Overflowing Heart of Darkness. It's rank A, it's anti-world, it's arts, it hits 4 times, deals damage to all enemies, deals 150% extra damage against enemies with the evil alignment, inflicts burn with 1000 damage for 3 turns to them, inflicts spread of fire status for 3 turns to them, increases the burn damage on them by 100%, inflicts curse with 1000 damage for 3 turns to them, inflicts evil curse status for 3 turns to them, so many things, increases curse damage on them by 100%, and then he has a 60% chance to instant kill enemies with the good alignment. The note here is that, hey, you really need to use other things here if you actually want to get that instant kill to work out for you. Sorry. At MP level 1, he deals 450% extra damage, 450% damage, and then if you get him all the way to MP level 5, it's 750%. His overcharge effect is an increased own arts performance for 1 turn. This activates first. At charge level 1, it's 20%, and if you get him all the way to the final charge level, it's 40%. And then his bond CE is the undefeatable one. When it's equipped to him, increases own MP damage by 30%. It then grants self an on guts activated buff, gain 20 crit stars when guts status is activated, and that is Rasputin. How is Rasputin? Well, given what I said earlier, you would think that I think that he's very bad, but I think he's good. It's just good in a different kind of way from a lot of other units. What I mean is that if you're looking for a basic looper, then he should be able to fulfill that just because he just has an AoE arts unit, and the bar is very low for you not to be usable in arts with that way, just because Castoria makes it so easy for you. If you're ever fighting against non-stop evil dudes, he will get a bonus 150% extra damage, which is nice. And he does get a little bit more arts, which goes to his overcharge, which is pretty okay. He has a couple buff, just basically an increased own attack, and also here with arts, so it's nice if that's what you want to use him for. The main problem with that is that he is alter ego, and with alter egos, occasionally you run into a problem where you won't be able to do maximum damage just because you get into a node that is, for example, a saber and a rider. It ends up being like a little bit screwy when it kind of goes into that, and it messes with your math, which is especially rough if you are someone who relies on NP gain, which arts and quick units both do. Quick especially. Arts is a little bit easier to deal with just because they have Castoria in a lot of instances, and that helps with a lot of NP gain, but it's still something to think about for sure. But obviously, looping is not his actual main gimmick. If his entire thing was how good is he at looping, it's more he can do it at a base level good enough, right? What he actually cares about is this skill right here, which is the idea of proccing guts nonstop. That ends up making him a unit that is best suited for challenge quests, but also you still kind of have to build around him if you want to take full advantage of him. And it's really more of a gimmick. It's not like something that's like, oh my god, now he's super unkillable and now he'll never die. It's not exactly that. It's a little bit more spin it to win it, especially since the original one is still an 80% chance of proccing and stuff like that. You can build a team where, build a setup specifically where it takes a lot to kill him. For example, back when this buff first originally came out, I remember seeing videos of people in Japan using him, and it was like, yeah, he just like died 10 times in a single battle and just didn't die. He just kept going, which is very funny, and it sounds like a really fun way to play. But when you look at the grander scope of the game, it ends up being, well, if you want to have that fun, you have to specifically build it out for it. So not every player is going to want that. Whether you want that or not is 100% suited to you. You have to look at yourself and say, do I want this type of unit? Do I want this type of experience? And do I want to go for it? And if it sounds interesting to you, then obviously you should go for it. That's my main thing. And for other people who like Kotomine as just in general, hey, it's Kotomine, I want to have him, then I think you'll be perfectly happy. Again, he's serviceable as far as I'm aware of as a looper, minus that one problem that all alter egos kind of suffer from. And if you ever want to have fun with his challenge quest stuff, you can, but if you're someone who's not like super into that because you're like, I already have better loopers and I'm not super interested in the idea of like super guts man, then the guy is not for you. It's just that simple. Not every unit has to be built for other people, but it's nice that there's units like this that play differently and can be fun for the people who want to go for them. The way I kind of see it is it's kind of like Hijikata. I think he's probably maybe a slightly better version of Hijikata, but Hijikata has a playstyle where you have to get him down to 1 HP, and for the longest time I just thought he kind of sucked until someone told me, let me tell you, if you focus in on him and you go into the battle knowing I'm here to make sure the Hijikata goes off, you'll have a lot more fun and you'll see he's a much better unit, which I did think that after doing all that. So again, it's all about your frame of mind, but you have to be willing to put in the work, and that's kind of where I stand on Kotomine. If you disagree with me, feel free to tell me about it. I also would love to hear your specific feedback on it, just because I don't have him. If I had him, I would gladly give you more experience, but I can only tell you what I have on base level. Also, it is kind of a bummer for us on NA. We don't actually have the much better version of the skill. You are going to have to wait. You're actually going to have to wait a while before you get the cooler version of the skill, so unfortunate, but it is what it is. And that's Kotomine. I wish you the best of luck if you decide to go for him. And speaking of another unit, let's talk about Muramasa, who is Shiro, very obviously. So for the people who only care that he's Shiro, I wish you all the best of luck for him. You already stopped hearing the video, but let's actually talk about him. He is a saber. He has 1 quick, 2 arts, 2 buster, 2 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 3 hits on buster, and 5 hits extra. His active skills are the Temashi Mono, B+, increases his own quick, arts, and buster performance and critical star absorption for 1 turn, and then also gain you some crit stars. It's 50% to quick, arts, and buster, while the absorption is 1000 and you gain 15 crit stars on a cooldown of 5. His second skill is the Karmic Visions A, ignores invincibility for 1 turn, increases his own critical damage against enemies with evasion for invincibility status for 1 turn, increases his own critical star generation rate for 3 turns, increases his own critical damage for 3 turns. The crit damage versus evasion or invincibility is 100%, the star rate is 100, and so is the crit damage that he also bonus gets, and that's on a cooldown of 6. His third skill is Blaze EX, charges own NP gauge, grants self the Blaze buff for 3 turns, which just charges your own NP gauge when normal attacking. The MP charged own NP gauge is 50%, the Blaze NP is 10%, so you'll get a bonus 10% every time you're hitting, and that's on a cooldown of 6. Passive skills are Magic Resistance B, Territory Creation A, Appreciation of Aesthetics of Sword A, the Ominous Present Head B. His third skill is an anti-caster attack damage aptitude. His Noble Phantasm, which is after a strengthening, which is unfortunate because they just got this on JP, so we ain't getting this shit for at least 2 years or so. I guess 1 year and 2 weeks. 1 year and 2 weeks, maybe. No, 11 months or so, because this was around anniversary, so I'll say it's 11 months. But I'll go over both versions, obviously. The Sumikari Muramasa, the baseless blade works. A+ rank Noble Phantasm, it's anti-unit, it hits 3 times. Increases your own NP damage by 10% for 3 turns, this activates first. Remove all enemies offensive buffs, this activates first. Deals damage that ignores defensive buffs to them. At MP level 1, it's 450%. If you get them all the way to MP level 5, it's 750%. Increase own arts performance for 3 turns. This activates first. At charge level 1, it's 10%. If you get them all the way to the final charge level, it's 30%. And then finally, their bond CE is continuation of what happened after. When equipped to Muramasa, increases own crit damage by 30%. Grants self a buff on attack buff, which is a 30% chance to gain 5 crit stars when normal attacking. And that is Muramasa. Wait, his rank EX, I forgot to say this, even though I said I would do it later. The main difference is that you get to deal more damage to them. I don't know what this means because they don't put that here, but it's also very early on, so maybe they didn't feel the need to do that. I guess you just deal more damage. In terms of the MP level, it's 600% now at a base level, and if you get them all the way to MP level 5, it's 900%, which is a very nice buff. Increased own Arts Buster and Quick Performance for 3 turns, so that gets added. The other 2 arts got added, and they're both 10%, and then if you get it to the final charge level, it's also 30%. And that is Muramasa. So, how is Muramasa? Well, when Muramasa released, Muramasa was one of the best, if not the best, AoE Saber in the game. I always preferred Saber Ibuki, but for many, Muramasa was definitely the top king because he could just deal so much damage in a single turn. And what's happened is that unfortunately power creep kind of hit Muramasa, and I think it caught a lot of people off guard. For example, when he got the most recent buff on JP, a lot of people started freaking out because they said, what do you mean you're buffing Muramasa? Muramasa's still good, right? No, it turned out, because I thought the same thing until the last time I did a Muramasa video. I talked to some people who used Muramasa and they gave me their current standings on him, and they're saying our boy is suffering a little bit with the current power creep and the way the game currently works. The reason being is that if you can tell, the power creep that has increased in this game is pretty major. The most recent hunting quest that we all just did, for example, there were bosses in there at the final wave that had like 500,000 HP and stuff like that. So what was happening is that on these really difficult nodes, Muramasa wasn't hitting damage because while this first skill is really nice because it gives him 50% to all 3 of the arts, you'll notice the little caveat here that says 1 turn. So only for 1 turn he gets this, and unfortunately that's the way it is for a lot of his buffs. These 2 here, like even this crit one only lasts for a single turn. This one here only lasts for a single turn. And it seems like for this one single turn, they don't want you to kill him with the AoE. They want you to hit him with the basic attacks. So it ends up creating the situation where a lot of the time in a lot of the more recent quests, Muramasa was not able to actually keep up with the meta unless you had heavy investment in him. We're talking huge, probably more NP levels, but even then, you likely were suffering a little bit. So, has that changed with the Noble Phantasm being added? I think it probably helped a little bit, especially since you can see here, if you have him at MP level 1, the change from 450% to MP level 1 being 600% is fucking huge. Because you can see here, that's basically like having him at MP level 2, which is crazy. It is really good. And if you had him at MP level 2, that's like having him here at MP level 5. It is a massive buff for sure that should help him a little bit with the damage. The extra bonus things is very nice, but I think the main problem here is likely going to deal with his skills. So I'll say that that buff is a very good start to getting Muramasa back on the correct train. I don't know how they plan to get him kind of back on the right set of tracks, I guess. They could give him more buffs that last for more than a single turn. That would definitely help. They could lower the cooldown of this one, maybe, if they wanted to buff this one to make it maybe a little bit more like Ishtar's, where now it just is always on 3-turn intervals. So that means that you'd be able to use it on turn 1 and then have it available to you on by the final turn, maybe. I think that would probably help a little bit. I don't know. If you have a little bit more, like, use with... Oh, they could also buff this skill, by the way, because this skill... It could use a little bit of help. Again, because this is based off of hitting people with normal attacking, it's kind of like... Obviously, you can't use this when looping, but it also means, like, you're just getting some more NP gauge when he already is someone that you supplement with Castoria, so he's not really going to be that bad off for it. I feel like he could use a little bit more of a buff here and there or something like that. That's just my basic thing. If all you care about is, like, very basic looping things, and you're just like, listen, man... I don't give a crap about anything you just said about the meta. I heard that you can run Muramasa Shiro with Castoria Saber. Is that a team setup that you can still do to today? And the answer is yes, you can. If that's what you deeply care about, is just being able to say, like, I can put Shiro next to Saber and it's like a good team-up duo, then yes, you'll be perfectly happy with him. And you'll be able to do that, and you can live your life never caring about any of the future consequences of it. But if you're someone who's like, okay, but I also want to make sure I can use Muramasa in a lot of harder content and stuff like that, and I want to continue using him into the harder things, I think he could probably use a little bit more of a buff. But again, that's my own opinion on this. I would be very interested to hear anyone who is currently playing JP, has Muramasa, and is using their buff. Do you feel like that was enough, or do you feel like he could use just a little bit more to kind of get him off the threshold? Because like I said, when he released, definitely one of the best. It's going to take a while if you want to get him back to that status, unless you just drop the most insane broken skill on him, where it's like, okay, no, now he's fucking insane. Like, he's absolutely crazy with everything, which I think they'll likely do in the future. But again, that's all speak. No, I forget what it's called. But anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk a video later about Domin, just because Domin is... There's enough to talk about Domin where it would require its own video, but that's good enough for here. Again, I wish you all the best of luck if you decide to summon. I'm not going to be summoning at all, so I'm going to be happy to not summon because I don't have any Saint Quartz, and I don't know anyone who currently does. But if you have Saint Quartz, you are ready for this, I wish you all the best of luck. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. I have another big video coming out pretty soon, so maybe I'll be in that, but that video is also going to be crazy, stupid long for various reasons. But that's the end of this video. Until next time, peace out. Bye-bye.